The death of Azym Dosa on February 26, 2026, marked the quiet end of one of the most influential yet understated business lives in modern Kenyan transport history. News of his passing was met with tributes rather than scandal. True to form, even in death, he left behind no dramatic public controversy, only operational challenges that had accompanied the growth of a vast road transport empire. During his two-decade reign in the passenger transport industry, Dosa maintained an unusually clean public record. Unlike many transport barons before him, he was never linked to political patronage or financial impropriety. The few controversies associated with his name were largely commercial risks and logistical realities. When he launched Easy Coach in 2003, he controversially priced tickets higher than established rivals, drawing early criticism from industry watchers who predicted failure. Instead, the higher fares funded better service standards, scheduled departures, cleaner buses, and a culture of safety that reshaped long-distance travel expectations in Kenya. His company was not immune to tragedy. Over the years, Easy Coach buses were involved in a handful of fatal road accidents, an unavoidable reality of operating across Kenya's highways. Though the brand built a reputation for safety, these incidents brought public scrutiny and sorrow. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Easy Coach faced deep financial strain. Dosa resisted mass layoffs, choosing instead to retain staff on reduced pay, a decision that earned both praise for compassion and criticism for the hardship it imposed on workers. He also openly acknowledged the persistent challenge of passengers attempting to transport contraband on his buses, responding with strict baggage controls that sometimes frustrated customers. Yet these moments never defined him. What defined Azym Dosa was discipline, order, and a near-obsessive belief that Kenya's transport industry could be run with dignity. Long before he became known as the silent billionaire, Dosa had lived an unglamorous professional life shaped by numbers rather than engines. Trained as a public accountant, he spent much of his early career in the United Kingdom and Canada, building financial expertise between 1968 and 1985. When he returned to Kenya in the late 1980s, he joined Akamba Public Road Services as Chief Financial Officer. What was meant to be a short contract stretched into nearly 2 decades, during which he learned the operational rhythms, failures, and structural weaknesses of Kenya's long-distance bus business. By the time he left Akamba in the early 2000s, Dosa was convinced that the industry could be rebuilt around punctuality, safety, and professionalism. At around 50 years of age, an age when many executives began planning retirement, he chose instead to start again. With just 7 buses plying the Nairobi-Kisumu route, he founded Easy Coach in 2003. Against predictions, the company expanded steadily, growing into a fleet of over 80 buses, opening private passenger lounges, professionalizing booking offices, and setting strict departure schedules. These changes quietly redefined what ordinary Kenyans came to expect from long-distance travel. Despite overseeing a multi-billion shilling enterprise, Dosa resisted the culture of flamboyant wealth. He avoided public displays of luxury and focused almost entirely on operational growth. His primary assets were not private jets or sprawling estates, but fleets, yards, offices, and logistics hubs. Even his private residence in Nairobi remained largely shielded from public attention. Behind the reserved public persona was a deeply family-oriented man. He was married to his wife Dilu for more than 50 years, and he often credited her quiet support as the emotional anchor of his career. His sons lived in Canada, and while they initially discouraged him from returning to Kenya in his 50s to start a risky new business, they remained close to him throughout his life. He also maintained strong ties with his extended family abroad, visiting regularly during annual leave. In February 2024, Dosa formally retired from active management of Easy Coach, citing age and declining health. He handed over leadership to Zulfikar Adatia, stepping back from daily operations after more than 20 years at the helm. Nearly a year later, his death followed a period of ill health, though no specific medical cause was publicly disclosed. The company's statement focused not on illness, but on his character, discipline, integrity, and an unwavering belief that systems, not shortcuts, build lasting businesses. Azym Dosa left behind more than a transport company. He left behind a model of what Kenyan entrepreneurship could look like when built slowly, quietly, and ethically. In an industry long haunted by collapse and mismanagement, his life stood as a rare example of consistency. He did not chase headlines, and controversy never chased him. Instead, his legacy moved daily across highways, carrying ordinary passengers, on time, in order, and with dignity.